All right. Welcome, everybody, back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your host, Rattlesnake, coming at you live once again from the Snake Pit in South Carolina here with my co-host, Dakota. What up, Dakota?
What up, Rattlesnake? I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia, from the Rutledge Dome. Oh, I hope you guys are ready for episode 2 of this awesome season we got going. We're going to break down everything Busch Clash racing this week. We're going back racing. Catch up on this episode with it's race week, the first one of the year, and then we're also gonna, what to expect. Do we miss Daytona?
Do we?
Excited? Are we excited for California racing? Is it too soon? Are we premature? Is NASCAR premature? And we're also going to talk about new cars, the new track, a new era of NASCAR. This feels like it's going to be incredible. And does NASCAR care about its fans? That's a hot topic. It's
No,
going
I'll
around.
just tell you that right now.
We're going to jump in it at the end of the show, but let's get this thing started, dude.
Let's do it. What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in.
Rock, flag, and eagle. Yo,
Oh, test.
Did you get your beer? Let's go. I'm impressed. You ran over there in the time to get your beer.
Yep. Nobody even knew I was gone.
Nobody even knew you're gone until I brought it up to everybody.
Yep.
Have you noticed after the last episode, I said I'm a dirt guy now, so I'm wearing another dirt shirt.
Dirt guy.
I'm a dirt guy now. This is a Rico shirt.
Drag eyes.
There you go. There you go. So we're back. Episode 2, season 4. Doing it big this year. We're doing it real big this year.
I'm still trying to get used to the new setup, but I'm also like in love with it. Like I was thinking today, I was like, oh yeah, we're podcasting tonight. I was like, can we get back down and break her in some more?
You know what? You'll love this. I just added this one to the collection.
What's that? I can't
Darrell
see.
Waltrip.
Oh my God, where'd you find that?
I know you're a big DW. What do you mean? Where'd I find it? This is a wedding gift, boy.
Yeah, I think I remember that in Texas, but
Yep.
jeez, you should have left it.
I got the autographed guitar right behind me also.
Should have left it in Texas. Yeah, what a great souvenir. He autographed this sword.
He autographed a guitar.
Oh my Lord.
It's not going back.
To my biggest fan, Darrell Waltrip.
The number one fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rattlesnake, my number one fan, and I am. I'll accept that.
I'll accept the responsibility.
I guess before we get started, well, I should probably check comments because I missed that last time. But before we get started, I should get this out of the way because I'll forget if I don't. I mentioned in the last episode we're going to be doing a giveaway thanks to Rusty. He gave me a whole bunch of copies of the NASCAR 21 Ignition. So thanks to Rusty Walrus, our homeboy, we're going to be doing a giveaway. This is for Xbox. There you go. There you go. We're going to be giving this away. Still in the wrapper. You hear that? You know it's legit. I'm going to be giving away that copy. Dakota, I think we'll be doing it this whole week. So probably post it tomorrow on social. We'll post it on Twitter and Instagram. And Sunday, the day of the race, we'll announce the winner. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. I think, first week of racing, first giveaway of the season. Let's fucking do it, man.
Let's do it. And I'm only giving this copy away because me and Dakota both have PlayStation. So you will not be playing with us, unfortunately. But if you're an Xbox person, there you go. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not an Xbox person because, I actually get laid. But, enjoy that copy. That's cool. You play Xbox. That's fun.
I mean, to each their own. We'll let them all have their way with it. It's one thing. Speaking of,
because girls want them.
Speaking of not getting pussy, so we're staying in this college town all week. It's called Milledgeville. You may have heard of it. It's like a big college fraternity.
Where in Georgia?
Town. Yeah, it's like
college?
It's like East of Macon. No, it's like Milledgeville Central Georgia College or some shit. Have you heard of Statesboro?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a little Statesboro. And So we're thinking like, man, we're working in Milledgeville. We're gonna be staying at the hotel in Milledgeville. Like, what's up? Let's like last night we're like, let's go eat and go to a bar. See what's going on.
Right.
Well,
Right.
everyone in my generation is kind of like knows like Milledgeville, and well, we get there and like we're like going to eat, and it's kind of like, what the hell? Like, it just seems like everybody around like plays Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon.
Well, that's college now, I think.
And it's like all little like ugly hipster kids. No offense, but it was kind of like,
No offense
what
to our
what
audience. Yeah.
we were like, where's all the good looking people at? Like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah, we were out of place, and it was not what we thought it would be.
I think that's most colleges now.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Well,
it was
speaking
weird.
of this, it is a really good segue into NASCAR and its fan base.
Yeah.
The kids into
That's
anime
exactly-
and Dungeons and Dragons.
I think all the kids in Milledgeville are part of NASCAR's Twitter.
Yeah, that's true. Really big NASCAR fans, I'm sure. Really big NASCAR
Yeah,
fans.
big NASCAR town.
Yeah,
Milledgeville.
they have, the anime Twitter Abby with the rainbow behind it. Yeah.
Look who decided to show their face in the comments.
About time. He wasn't around for our for episode 1 of season 4. He's finally back.
Yeah, I mean, the
Our
number
number one
one fan
fan.
himself.
Yep.
Respect the game. He's our local historian. He's like, we're not in person, but he's like, he's our Jamie of like Joe Rogan. He's our like, hey, Nathan,
Hey Nathan, pull
Got
this
that?
up.
pull that up, Nathan.
We've done that too. We've
Yeah.
actually done that where we're like, Nathan, I know you're watching. In the comments, tell us the answer to this because we don't know it.
Yeah, he's
So
our,
he is essentially Jamie. That's true. That's a
he's,
good point.
He's our in-race reporter.
Yep. All right. So what do we got? What do we have first on the itinerary? What do you got?
All right. Well, I mean, I know it's a little early, but football's football. It's kind of ending, and it's time to go
Kind of
racing.
ending. It is kind of ending. I mean, I know this isn't a football podcast. You did message me and say that you were done with the NFL.
Yeah, I'm done with the NFL. Nathan's gonna hate in the comments in 3, 2, 1. Fuck the NFL. But it's our
Why? You
first-
didn't like those? You didn't like those playoff games?
No, they were good games, but I'm just so sick of these rules. I've been sick of all the liberal bullshit with NFL, but these
Right.
fucking rules, like for years, it's been like, hey, can we change the overtime rules? And here's one thing though, you know how, if we're gonna compare, you know how NASCAR's like the fans want it, they got it, and like
Mhm.
who said that? No one said that.
Yeah, the
And-
fan council.
But the NFL's like the fans wanted it, and we don't give a shit. Like the NFL's just like, no, these are our rules, and if you don't like it, don't fucking watch.
Yeah.
And that's how the NFL is. And it seems like they don't give a shit about their fans. And just like NASCAR says they give a shit about their fans, sometimes I leave that contrary to belief, but we'll get that at the end of the show. But I don't know, man. I mean, I watch Super Bowl, but like I'm done kind of like, if I don't know, like when football comes around, I'll probably like
College
miss it, but-
football, dude. I've always told you college football.
Well, I've been watching more college football, and I'm also like, yeah, okay, I can get
Great
into this.
season to live in Georgia.
Yeah, I can get into this, and then watching NFL and just seeing all the like fucking bullshit and like political crap. It's just
Yep.
like, ugh, I don't like. I'm trying to watch, and then the commercials. Don't get me started. I'm just like watching, like, why am I watching this? Who
Right.
cares? Who fucking cares?
Good time to get into
And-
college football.
Yeah, so I think I'm making my allegiance to
Hell
just-
yes.
transition over, and I don't know. I don't care. I'm just more like, oh, cool football, whatever. I mean, go Joe Burr.
Well, yeah, that's true. I actually do like him. That's cool. I'm glad, for all the Bengals fans out there, congratulations. Like, I can't imagine what you've had to go through your entire life. I'm a Texans fan, so I actually can't imagine what you've had to go through. But yeah, good for them. But football is pretty much over. We got one more game and it's done, which means NASCAR's back, baby. We're getting
Yes.
racing again.
It's the first race week. I'm still like, dude, like, are we seriously doing this? I keep seeing like pictures and videos of this little track, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we're going racing. Like, this is real, okay? And I'm like, what are we doing?
What
Like,
are
what-
we doing? That's a
What
great
are we
question.
doing?
Yeah. I don't have cable at home. I
Ooh,
stream
yeah.
everything like everybody else my age. I was just at a bar like right before I came here to record this, and on the TV just nonstop commercials for it. So
Yeah.
they're definitely promoting the shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm just happy like we're gonna be back racing. And then I saw today people kept sharing like like Bud Shootout, Sprint Unlimited. What up, Steve? But Sprint Unlimited like highlights and stuff, and everyone's like, man, this one was a good one. This one was a great race, and
Right,
I'm like,
right.
yeah, it was so good they decided to change it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Is like why did we change it? Why did we leave Daytona? And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, old boomers, da, da, da. But it's like I don't know, man. I love speedway racing. Like it's fun, and I always like the triple threat of nobody's ever won the shootout, the duel, and the 500. It kind of to me made like a little like something for drivers to try
Yeah,
for.
it was
And then
like, when is Kyle Busch going to do that also?
yeah, once in a while you'd have
Yeah.
like Junior won the shootout, he won his duel. Can he be the first to do it? And like it never happened, but now it's like none of that is even relevant. Like
Yeah, that's
whatever.
true.
Now, like, watch somebody win the Clash in the 500 or whatever, and they'll be like, "They did it." I'm like, no, they didn't.
You know what? I will say, I was talking to somebody today that lives in California, in Southern California,
Really?
and they were planning on, they're not NASCAR fans, and they're planning on taking their children to this race, like making it
Wow.
a whole family thing. And I was like, wow, that's
Local
really cool.
insight.
Right. I was like, wow, that's really cool. You know, they're not NASCAR fans or anything, but they're like, they're big into sports, big sports fans. So they're like, you know what? Let's do it. It's something new. Like, I'll drive the kids up there. The last second, I don't know their like political ideology or anything. Like, I don't know. It's a work relationship, so we don't talk about that shit, thank God. But today I asked, you plan on going up this weekend? Because it's like an hour drive from him or something like that.
Hmm.
And he mentioned no. The last second he bailed on the idea
Oh, yeah. Actually,
because
I realized that sounds stupid.
they're requiring like vaccine mandates and masks and
Oh,
everything. And
wow.
he
So
was
it's
like,
not
I'm
even
not.
NASCAR's fault.
Yeah, and he was like, and I don't know his political affiliation, you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
was just like, honestly, like that doesn't sound fun. I don't want to take my family to that anymore. So he backed out at the last second. And I was like, oh, is California still doing that? And he was like, I think it's just LA County.
Yeah, I think
So
it's fabulous LA.
I was thinking about this today, and I was like, I wonder how much that's going to affect the attendance. Honestly, I know they said the attendance is supposed to be great, but this is just a random person that I work with that I was talking to that was
Yeah.
planning on going, found out the policies, and decided at the last second not to buy a ticket.
I was wondering the same thing with like the whole Super Bowl thing. Like, how's that gonna go? But I'm sure it'll be packed. But it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a load of political bullshit. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast. But oh man, that sucks. Like, you're gonna have a new fan, and then you let the area you decided to have this fantasy race ruin it.
So yeah, Nathan, of course, comes in with the fucking comments. Nathan, we're talking about it because this is a NASCAR podcast, you fucking idiot.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, like, what do you mean we're all talking about it? I don't know if we're all talking about it. I think we're talking about it because we're NASCAR fans and like that's what we talk about. I don't know if everybody else is talking about it. I don't know. I think they're definitely putting a shit ton of money into marketing, so that should help. But like I said, a person that was considering going the last second decided not to. I don't know if that's how it's going to be for everybody, but that's what I've encountered so far from people I know that were planning on going.
Another hot take taking us in our transition.
Yeah, Nathan, you better look out because Connor is becoming the number one commenter over here. Okay, fine. Okay, all right, Nathan. I'm sorry. I was reading them backwards. You're right. My bad. Yeah. Aside from the shit show, what does NASCAR really gain? Obviously, we've been talking about this a little bit. NASCAR, what they're trying to gain from this is this invisible make-believe audience that they think
And it's like
exists.
they keep shooting for the stars, man.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
I saw what I saw was like 70% of the sales were new race fans have never been there. And it's like, where are you getting this information?
Exactly.
Where are these statistics coming
The
from?
margin of error on something like that is absurd. First of all, like there's no way you're getting
I want to see some data.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting an accurate read of that.
Yeah, like Ticketmaster has never been to a race, and they bought 50% of the tickets. I'm sure they haven't because it's
all
not
these
real.
scalpers that just bought these tickets have never been to a race. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna be super interested this weekend to see what the attendance looks like. I do think it has piqued some interest. They put a shit ton of money into marketing to pique people's interest, especially in the LA area. they're getting musicians that they think the people in LA will like. Obviously, that was a big thing on like NASCAR Twitter, which did we discuss in the last episode? I can't even remember how, people were freaking out about that. And then,
I do, I had a friend at work yesterday. He's like 55 years old. And he was like, he always tells me like, yeah, I used to watch NASCAR. I can't even stand it nowadays. He's one of those. And he
right.
was
There's a
telling like,
lot of
but
those. They're all at
he'll
the dirt track, by the way.
he'll always ask me like, hey, what's this? I saw such and such. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, really? What'd you see? And I imagine it's just on Facebook or something. But he's
Right.
like, what's this? They're running a race in the football stadium. He was like, what happened to Daytona? He's
I
like,
really wish, I know it's not true, but I really wish the person you were talking about actually sounded like that when they talked.
yeah, I'm butchering
What's this? They're racing in a stadium?
And
What
he
the
was
fuck?
like,
Are you talking to Forrest Gump?
no, kinda. He's an old man. But he was like, what was wrong with Daytona was the first thing he said. And I was
Right.
like, this is an older fan. And he's wondering, and I said, yeah, I totally agree with you. I was totally okay with Daytona. However, I was like, they're trying this new thing. They made a fake track. I was like, it's going to be interesting. I'm very curious of how it's going to go. I hope it's good. But yeah, I'm also curious, like, what if this fails? I don't know.
So I think that's a great question. And Nathan brings up kind of a good point here, just like random people asking about this, right? Because they're
Yeah.
seeing it more. And I don't think that means that this is a success. I think that means NASCAR is finally putting money back into marketing, which they should have been doing this whole time. And to your point, what if it's a shit show?
Yeah.
So they're putting so much money into marketing and advertising for something that could just completely fail. And so they're getting all this new audience and all this new attention. People are interested, and then they tune in and go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, my dad used to watch NASCAR, and this is what NASCAR is. This is stupid. Maybe they should have been putting all this money and effort into advertising and marketing for like Talladega or the Daytona 500 or Bristol, like good races that we know are going to be good.
And here's the thing: is like you'll see your occasional 500 commercials as usual, I'm sure. But like where all this is going to clash, and they're hoping for 100%, return investment. But it's like if we sit here and get all this Clash hype, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, the Daytona 500 is in 2 weeks." I'm like, I want to see some Daytona 500 hype. It kind of, I think it's just the allure of the unimaginable. We don't know what is going to happen.
Right.
We have no idea. So, and people that aren't even into NASCAR are like, "What the fuck?" Like, I've heard of LA Coliseum. Like, I want to see what this is about. And then,
From a marketing standpoint, it's been a success. I'll
yeah,
admit
I
that.
would say,
Yeah, they're piquing people's interest for sure. But also, if we looked at their budget, I guarantee NASCAR has spent more marketing this one event than they've spent like all of last season for like the whole fucking season. So
yeah.
dollars spent. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, oh man, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what they got this. Hey, Pitbull's gonna do an hour concert before the fucking show. Okay, well, I'm sure maybe some LA people are excited about that. And then, dude, every caution, some DJ's gonna blast fucking the Applebee's song, and fucking dude, and when we're done with the motos, Ice Cube's gonna come out, and he's gonna say a bunch of racial slurs, and he's gonna cuss and rock on. And I mean, I don't know what is this? Are people gonna be like, dude, NASCAR races are lit? And they're like, I'm gonna go to that Auto Club race. And they go to Auto Club, and we get a 60 lap green flag run, and they're like, where's the concert?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
They're coming out with all these stars and bangs, and then it's like, well, not every NASCAR race like this. Like you take, we always talk about, hey, you want to go to a NASCAR, you want to go NASCAR race for racing, or you want to go NASCAR race for a good time, or a little bit of both. Like we take people, I always take first timers to Dega because to me it's the ultimate fun experience.
If you have a friend that is not into NASCAR at all, and they're just kind of like, yeah, like I'd be interested to go to a NASCAR race. My dad used to go when I was growing up. I've heard stories about NASCAR. It sounds fucking awesome. I just want to go to a party. Talladega. It's like, don't even think twice. Take them to Talladega. They will fall in love, not necessarily with the racing, but just the atmosphere, the idea of NASCAR. They'll be interested at least. That's like a kind of a gateway drug into NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, yeah, that's a fun time. That's a good time. And then like, but I also say like, hey, not every NASCAR race is like this.
So here's a good point. Should you take them to Talladega or Bristol? I think it depends on the person. Granted, I haven't been to
Yeah,
Bristol, but if they want to party and just like have a good time, take them to Talladega, probably. I haven't been to Bristol personally. I'm planning on going this year. So I guess I can't answer that. What would you say, Dakota?
so I always say like, if it's someone just like, yeah, I'll go to one of those NASCAR races. I take them to Dega. But if someone that's like, I've been watching NASCAR this year. I'm kind of getting into it, or I'm liking racing, man. It's cool. Then I'm like, you need to come to Bristol because you're enjoying. And even you can take a non-watching fan to Bristol. I've done it, and like they're like, this is badass. But will it make or break them wanting to come back next year? I don't know. I think Dega does make people want to come back. Like Dega does make people like, hey, I'm sign me up next year. I want to do this.
I can tell you right up front, like, so I grew up watching NASCAR. My family was in NASCAR. And then I've just always been into it or whatever. But in college, a bunch of my fraternity brothers were like, "Hey, let's all go to Talladega," and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Because finally somebody else I know wants to go to a NASCAR race. Because growing up, that just wasn't common. Usually, people would laugh at you if you said you watched NASCAR.
Right.
When I went to Talladega, I got so many more people interested in NASCAR like that. I mean, that it just everybody I'd say we were with a group of like 20 dudes. I'd say 10 of them still somewhat keep up with NASCAR because
Really?
I took them to one Talladega race.
Yeah.
They're not consistently, but on a Sunday they would tune in. They're the type of person that's like, hey, I saw Ryan Blaney won this week. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I still have a group of friends that will talk to me about NASCAR because of that one race.
That's
So
so cool.
Talladega works.
Yeah. I mean, we've taken plenty of friends, just like work buds and shit, gone to, took example, my buddy Ronnie went to Dega with us. He went to, I took him to Dega in 2020. He came back in 2021 and he's talking about going again this year. Like, he wants to go and have a good time. And he bought all this Blaney shit. He got all about Ryan Blaney because he went to a race. He liked Blaney and Blaney won. Now we got a Blaney fan. It's like, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how, yeah. I still have friends like that are like Brad K fans because I took him to a Talladega and Brad K, of course, fucking won. We're at Talladega. No, that's a good point, though, that Nathan brings up, that if you take him to Talladega, nothing else really lives up to the hype. I would say, like I said before, it's kind of a gateway drug. So you take them there, you see if they enjoy it. Everybody's going to enjoy the time, but there's a couple that will be like, I'm kind of interested in what's going on actually on the track, too.
I went to a party and a race broke out.
Exactly. Those are the people that you're like, okay, I think I could get you into NASCAR, not just for the party, and then see if it picks up. And then they get interested in the racing itself as well. So, yeah, that is a great point. Yeah. Well, sorry for the poor bastards. Oh, man, that's a great point. Yeah, you see what happens. Yep.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens.
I mean, I feel sorry for any Bubba fan, period. But
I know. That's the thing. Look, at the end of the day, my life's too short to hate any driver or any fan base. I used to a lot. Now I think I just feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a Bubba fan, like, good for you, man. I think it's going to be a tough life. If you're a Daniel Suarez fan, I'm not really sure when you became a fan, but
good for you.
Tough life, dude. Good for you. Yeah.
Oh man, and then like that comment, Coke 600 for more day celebration is pretty important too. Yeah, we used to have the fireworks at July Daytona for that move. It's like there was always like some staple races. It was always like, even like when I was coming up, was like, man, I haven't been to that race. Man, I've always wanted to go to that race, like as a pure race fan.
Right.
Like,
yeah. The Coke 600 is 100% on that list. Yeah.
Always wanted to go to Coke 600. I always wanted to go to the Brickyard 400. Never got to do
Right.
that. Thanks, NASCAR. It's like there's all these
now
things.
You can go to LA instead. Have fun.
Yeah. So it was like, man, like I'm a pure NASCAR fan and I want to do that. I want to check that off my list. I want to go to a new track or something,
Right.
But then it's like, okay, I don't want to go to LA because Pitbull's playing. I want, I don't want to go to LA, period. And that's another thing is, okay, California has a huge population, so they're, trying to attack that.
Right. Well, it's the largest population of any state
yeah, they're
in America.
trying to get that crowd. I get that, money wise and stuff, but then I'm also like, where's these polls out of how many Californians watch NASCAR?
That's the thing. That's the thing. At the end of the day, I do know that there's like a fairly big race community in Northern California
Yeah.
that's really into like dirt. Like Kyle Larson's from up there.
And then a lot of racers.
Kevin's from California. Jeff Gordon's from California. There's a lot of drivers that are from California.
Yeah.
I understand what they're doing. It's just like, is LA the right move? I don't know. Also, Pitbull, I think, works. I'm gonna be honest.
I like Pitbull doing it because, like, hey, I own a car in this series. I'm putting. He's not just okay.
Exactly.
Look, Michael Jordan went to a couple races or something and like walked through the garage, and it's crazy, the GOAT, whatever.
Well, and he said that he's been a fan his whole life, which is cool to hear.
I appreciate that, but like
exactly.
Pitbull to me is like giving back. Like, hey, I'm here and I'm not BSing. Like, I own a car. I'm here. I'm doing my thing at this thing. Like, it's meshing well.
He has some skin in the game, so he wants to see like his money pay back out. So he's like, okay, let me put on a show. Let me help out the way I know I can help out to make this whole thing elevate higher than it should be.
And I'm sure,
which is great.
NASCAR's probably like, hey, we can get them at a discounted price. We don't have to pay him
100%.
What we
100%. That's what they're thinking. Yeah. And the thing about Pitbull is too, Pitbull's one of those artists that kind of when me and you were growing up, like in high school, Flo Rida kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
It's an artist that can go from young to old.
Yeah.
Even old people can be like, oh, Pitbull music's fun. It's just like lighthearted. It's kind of like
the thing is,
nice
Pitbull,
beat.
I don't know how much of his music you've listened to. Like, he has little radio family mixes on the elevators and shit. And then he also has some like dirty dog X-rated bangers. Like, he's got songs about cocaine and banging whores. Like, and I'm about that. I like those songs. We were watching fucking MTV the other day. They were playing old music videos, and some old Pitbull song came on where he was like fucking dirty dancing with this chick. And I was like, I looked at Felicia and I was like, that dude owns a fucking NASCAR team. That's all I said. And he was like on there getting it. And I was like, who would have ever guessed this motherfucker's going to own a race car team one day?
But no, I mean, like, getting Pitbull, I think, especially in LA, I think can work. I think you can get the older, like, suburban family, like the parents can kind of listen to it too. That works. And then the Ice Cube thing, I think, is where it kind of, you'll get the older crowd. Like, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I've seen Ice Cube before. The problem with Ice Cube is he's extremely political. I don't know if you follow Ice Cube.
No,
he's extremely political.
I've seen some retweets,
which is fine. That's his audience. That's his thing. Like, I don't care. But my point is, it doesn't. His politics does not mesh well with NASCAR. And I'm just being honest. I don't care what your politics are. That's just the fact. I think
it depends on which genre of NASCAR politics you want to talk about. Because
honestly, there's only one genre of NASCAR politics that matters, and it's the old conservative white guys, because they're the real fan base. People want to say like, oh, NASCAR's
white
changing.
Anglo-Saxon NASCAR fans.
NASCAR, sure, they are trying to change. The fact is, let's cut out all middle-aged conservative white guys from NASCAR, and the series of NASCAR will die in one season. I guarantee it. It would just die. Nobody would tune in. Nobody go to races anymore. It's just a fact. And they don't want to have to admit it because that's their fan base and it's not popular and it's not cool to admit that's your fan base. But that's NASCAR fan base. Like, NFL's been trying to get away from it for years.
I feel like
is NASCAR.
Us older kids, the kids that grew up, are the ones that have to take the torch and pass it along. I'm not talking about conservative politics. I'm talking about like, hey, my dad grew up watching racing. That's why I watch racing. Like, it sticks to me. It's in my blood. Like, this is what I do.
Here's the thing, though. Johnny Thomas, our boy.
Hey, Johnny.
From Erska, the guy that runs Erska, he was talking to us. We have a group message with him. He brought up a great point. Was NASCAR fans, it's not the children of the old fan base. Like, the kids that had dads that grew up watching NASCAR, a lot of us didn't watch NASCAR like our parents did for whatever reason. Me and you did, but a lot of us didn't.
Okay.
What happened was the youth that took over NASCAR was like the weirdo anime kids because they just found an obscure thing.
Well, that's another thing. Like I notice is that crowd seems to just keep growing. I mean, I'm glad they're watching NASCAR, but then they also like to throw every bit of their 2 cents on every opinion, and it's kind of like, hey, we don't do that here. Like, stop.
Right.
And those are
Like
the anime kids.
before you have an opinion, maybe you should like
I mean,
understand
those kids
the
retweet, and
crowd.
I mean, maybe I'm being judging, but you know, like those kids are like I can remember my first race in 2018, and it's like what? And then like, I mean, hey, our buddy
Yeah.
Eric Stepp was on the show, and I remember he on one of his videos when I used to watch his videos,
That's
and he
beautiful,
was like,
Nathan.
he was saying his, oh my gosh, that just touched my heart. Hold on. Oh my
That's
god.
beautiful.
Hey, and shout out Nathan. And I remember he was like, I remember my first race I went to as a kid out in 2010. And I was like, God dang, dude. Like I mean, I'm not old, but like I'd been going to races for 10 years before that. And then it's like
Right. 2010, I graduated high school.
Yeah, me too. And it's like
I was getting accepted into colleges and shit. Like I
yeah,
was becoming an adult. Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird thing, and I guess that's just because we're like getting older.
yeah.
It's just to Johnny's point, the cool people our age got really into football, which is great because I'm super into football also, but they didn't also get into NASCAR. And so I don't know how else to put it, but like the fucking cool people didn't watch NASCAR like we did. And that's why I mentioned earlier, it was almost embarrassing when you were growing up to be like, oh, I'm a NASCAR fan. I watch NASCAR because nobody else did.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like lame, you know?
Dude, I mean, even kind of like I used to be like, yeah, I watch NASCAR.
Exactly.
But now I guess like the more confident I got or whatever, I'm like, yeah.
I think we just got
do
older. And I was like, I don't fucking care what you think anymore.
I do watch NASCAR. What
Right.
about it? And they're like,
Right.
oh yeah, man. Yeah.
That's how we should have been the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what? In a way, now I'm bringing it back to us. This was our fault. We created the anime kids.
We created
God
monsters.
damn it.
They rose above us.
So, what do you think going into this weekend about the cars? How do you think they're going to run on this track?
Well, like I think, who was it, Steven or somebody? They said earlier was like, or maybe Nathan was, this is also a big show out for the first race of the new race car. Hey, we're doing this new shit in LA. We got fucking Ice Cube, and we got brand new race cars. You've never seen these things on track. Buckle your belts. Like, yeah. So, people may be like, oh, NASCAR's lame. I guess I'll check it out. But then they may see these new cars and be like, God dang, dude, those look sick. Or, holy shit. Like, I didn't know NASCAR was doing this. I show Ronnie the new cars, and he's like, dude, those wheels look awesome on those cars. I'm like,
they
really
look sick. We've said that from the day one. We'll complain about the number placement. We'll complain about so many things. I hate the single lug nut. There's so many things we'll complain about, but the look is not wrong. Like they look
it looks
sick.
great.
Yeah.
I just want let's see how they race. We'll see. I think it's gonna be interesting. I also think this Clash could have been a badass all-star race. I think that would have been a great time to do this. But the Clash, I mean, revived it, I guess. You gotta think how many people besides true NASCAR fans were like, "Ooh, I can't wait to watch this Clash."
That's dope that you have a NASCAR bar in Denver. That's actually sick.
That is
it's always,
yeah.
By the way, it's always good. Like I just moved to Myrtle. It's always good to find like a bar that will throw up races. That's like a go-to. I think I just found the place. I just came there. That's why I'm like already 5 beers deep. I just came from there. But yeah, that's dope. I'm glad that you have a place in Denver that puts up races.
That is sick.
But the car will look cool. I think that's the thing. People will tune in and probably be like, holy shit, that's what NASCAR looks like now? That's not what I remember it looking like. My only concern is, and I've said this since the beginning, I wanted them to run the last gen, whatever.
Now, I thought that would have been a good idea. I mean, I know they're doing the whole new thing.
But like, who's going to want to wreck their cars because of that? Brand new expensive cars. Like, I don't know, man.
Like, why not take last year's cars and be like, this is one last ride. And like, they're gonna beat the
They're
fuck
gonna
out
beat
of them.
the shit out of them because they
Kevin
don't matter
Harvick
after
right
this.
hooks Chase Elliott because fuck them, and
Right.
like holy shit, they, barn burner.
These
Eric,
things are worth the scraps that are on them at this point. So fuck it.
yeah,
Let's run them,
yeah.
into the ground.
Now I'm sure they're still gonna race hard, because I think to racers,
Are they though?
Well, I think to racers, this kind of like it may be a big deal, like the Coliseum, LA, some of the California drivers, like, who's going to be the first guy to win
Do you think it's a
in the
big deal
new
though?
car.
Because I haven't really heard drivers like hyping this up much.
I'm just kind of speculating. Like
I
they
know,
might
but
be like,
like, have you heard? Maybe I'm wrong. Have you heard drivers like on social media or interviews
all
like
right, all right.
really being like, "Man, I'm passionate about this race." I haven't heard it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let me ask you something. Who won the first race in the car tomorrow?
Oh, that's a great question. No, I'd have to look it up.
Well, most race fans would know it.
That's bullshit. I don't think that's true.
These,
Okay,
these,
you did
these
trivia
things,
with me. You know I can't answer any fucking trivia question.
these things suck. I hate them. Does that ring a bell?
It does.
Do you know what track it was at?
Okay, look, I'm like 5 beers deep. I hate
Revoking
that
your
you're
fan
asking me.
card. Kyle Busch, Bristol 07, ran the first car tomorrow race.
That's
Him
right.
and
That
Jeff
was
Burton
Kyle
came
Busch
off.
that
Jeff
said
Burton
that.
gave him a run for his money side by side. Great finish. First race of car tomorrow was a side by side finish. And it was like, oh my God, these are crazy. And, it was a good race. And the cars looked like shit, big bricks, but damn, they did give us some good races. But
They did look like shit though.
But here's the thing is, I think pretty much all our fans in the comments will remember Kyle Busch won that first race in the car tomorrow. This is going to be the first race of the Gen 7 next gen car. And it's, who's going to be the first guy to win in this car? I think it's going to be some bragging rights. It's going to be some
But the
momentum
problem
into the
is, I
season.
mean, yeah, but it's like an expedition race at the
I
LA
know,
Coliseum. Like, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
I think still them drivers still got a little cockiness in them. Them drivers still want bragging rights, and them drivers still want to go for it. Represent. They're not gonna go out there and just dick around. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just worried. Like, okay, first of all, they're not running for points, right? It's
No,
just
this
a
is
payout,
just for fucking money. I think.
right? What's the price tag on this though?
I think all that's kind of like just like the statistic thing. They'll be like, winner gets this, but I think it's like the team gets that. The winner gets his cut.
See, if it was a good amount of money, they would be promoting that. They would be like, you remember the race for $1 million?
Yeah.
Bill Elliott, like the first, like that was like the big first payout. That was like
Yeah.
so much money. If it was a lot of money, they would be promoting it like they did for that. You know what I mean? So I feel like, what are they racing for? It sounds like bullshit. And two, they have a brand new car that they don't want to have to run hard and wreck.
And their promotion too is something unlike you've seen before. And I'm like,
right?
You don't know that.
You don't know what I've seen, motherfucker.
Feel that, and like you don't know what we're gonna see. And I don't know. Just trying to be skeptical. Optimistic at the same time. We're going to watch. I got the boys coming over. We're going to break in the man cave. First race. It's going to be Clash. And I think a lot of people, old NASCAR fans, new NASCAR fans, are going to be like, hey, shit, there's no football this weekend. That Clash thing's on. I'm going to watch that.
I just think with the amount that they've put into marketing, I wish they would have done the last car. So these guys would have driven really hard. But if that's not the case, and they want to promote this new next-gen vehicle, that's cool too. I get it. Then you need to promote how much money they're winning. You know what I mean? Even if it's $1 million, right? Like $1 million today compared to how it used to be is not much. Just say like the Clash, the $1 million Clash or something. Like promote that.
I mean, it would have made a great all-star race, better in Texas. I will give them that.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, they used to be like, so-and-so won the Daytona 500, and it would show like the finishing order, the lap sled, lap times, and earnings. Like they used to always show the earnings out at the results.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I'd watch that and be like, oh my fucking God, look how much money they won. Like, geez, last place won $50,000. Like, holy crap.
Right. And I used to love that. Yep.
At some point, I guess it was like after the recession of 08, it was like, we don't talk about that anymore.
No, yeah,
Hush.
I think it was even after '08. I think it was like a while after
Yeah,
08.
I
I
don't know. They were
remember.
just like, hush, don't show that.
I remember when they stopped doing it. Yeah, and it was weird.
Yeah, I admit, I loved seeing it. Like, yeah, look, they're fucking rich.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I know that they don't like to do payouts now, but I think promoting the amount of money would really hype it up if there was like a big price tag to it. And the fact that they haven't mentioned it makes me think that it's not big enough to get any of these drivers interested.
I don't know. I think it'll still be a show. I think you'll still have guys like in 10th. There's like, yeah, man, whatever. But then like a late race restart, maybe you know, guys catching a guy with 2 to go, going in the corner, roughs them up. They both wreck. A little Martinsville esque. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. Um, but this is, I mean, rolling us right in the new. I think this starts a new era of NASCAR. I think it was going to be
Oh, it
perfect.
definitely starts a new era. Yeah.
If COVID didn't happen, this was timeline to have started in 2021, and it was almost going to be perfect, like 2021, like first year, second year, third year, maybe. But now it's like we're starting in 2022. It just kind of sounds off. But, new era of NASCAR, new car, new numbers, new tracks. We're making
New
up
numbers.
shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking, they're going to arm wrestle for second, and like, who knows? But it's like we're breaking it in. We have new teams out the woodwork.
Yep.
Jacques Villeneuve is racing the 500 in some made up 27
that's right.
car.
That's right. I forget about that.
Boxers creating teams and hiring good drivers to race
Okay,
them.
is that happening? Okay, you know
It's
what?
happening. They released the car today.
You know, we're 40 minutes into this. I gotta go take a piss.
Pit Viper's the fucking sponsor. I don't think you've ever left to go piss during an episode.
I know, I've never have, but I said I'm like 5 or 6 beers deep at this point, and you always leave to pee.
That's because, well, sometimes I just pee, man. I just pee right there.
Okay, so this, you know what this means is that you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'll entertain the comments. I know how to do this. So, anyways, while the negative Nancy leaves, oh, look at him. He can't. The Iggy shuffle over his beer bottles. So, new car, new teams, new sponsors. Pit Viper on the 50. That was a surprise. I think it kind of looks freaking weird. I love, the money team. I love the cockiness, the confidence, whatever. It's like, hey, we all know Floyd Mayweather is rich and he's acting like it. And they've been teasing this for years too, which is kind of like, I think, left us all sour. But curious, what are they going to be back marker? Or are they going, another thing with the new car, we don't know if they're going to be fast. Who's going to be up speed, who's not. I'm kind of, sniffing out they're going to run like slower than Corey LaJoy era, back there. But we'll see. The Jacques Villeneuve thing, I don't think that's really much to be speculating. That just seems like he's going to be there. Almost like Derek Cope hitting the wall kind of type deal. Colleague, very curious what Colleague is going to do. Watching that closely. Look, oh my gosh. I think his room's haunted. Do y'all hear that? Colleague's new teams. I think a lot of people are sitting here wondering when Junior Motorsports is coming to Cup. I think that would be huge. Ben, 2018. Supposed to run it. Yeah, remember didn't Jeffrey Earnhardt, he was going to run it at first, and then like that never happened, and they just kiboshed it. And then last year they were like, they're getting a driver, and then nothing happened, and now it's back.
Where are we at?
I just talked about new teams. I'll fill you back in. Jacques Villeneuve, I'm just in the 27. I'm feeling like a Derek Cope hitting the wall kind of deal with that team.
Okay.
Colleague's going to have freaking 2 cars all season.
Can we go back to the fact that you said that the team money or whatever, right? That's going to be
getting there.
Okay. Sorry. I'll let you finish.
Colleague's going to have 2 cars, new drivers, rookies. Justin Haley's not really a rookie. He won a race. Shit.
Yep.
We'll have the 16 flowing out with star drivers all year. And then team money management, whatever they're calling it, is, I was just telling the boys in the comments, but like, they teased us like 3 years, like, hey, yeah, Jeffrey Earnhardt's going to race for Floyd Mayweather. No, it's not. And then last year they're like, yeah, this is it for real this time. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah, that's right. This has been, has it 1 full year or 2 years now?
I think it's been 2 full years of like, hey, yeah,
since they've hyped it up.
We're going to do this again.
I'm pretty sure it was like Gluck. I remember like 2 years ago when he wrote about it and he was like, Team Money Mayweather or whatever. Like they're going to be
Yeah.
a racing team, and
hey, bring in new sponsors.
then after that, like Pitbull became a team, and we are like, whoa, didn't see that one coming.
Bringing on Pit Vipers, Shades. I mean, they're nothing compared to my beautiful Yeats
okay?
right here.
So this is what I mentioned.
But,
Pit Viper is sponsoring that team.
Yeah. Well, that car for that race, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
anything
here's the
further
deal.
than that. And the scheme looks absolutely awful.
Here's the deal. If you bought Pit Vipers, I understand the mistake that you made. I get it. But it was a mistake, and you have to acknowledge it. The problem is, once you bought them, you spent way too much money on shitty sunglasses that you don't want to have to admit that you made a mistake, because they're extremely overpriced for the sunglass that you get.
Yeah, I'm sending you the scheme.
Oh yeah, please do it. But you made a mistake with Pit Vipers. It's just a fact. Like, and I'm sorry that it happened to you, but
you just didn't know about that Chairgatin discount code.
You didn't know about these guys right here. Not Tony Stewart, although Smoke might agree with us. I'll have to ask him next dinner.
Should have gave him a pair of that.
Exactly. Next time I sit next to him at a dinner, I'll ask him that. There we go. If you can't see, I got a little.
I need to clip this
collage up there. I got these up. Dude, I love the camo pair you got.
Yeah, they're gonna see their first race in a couple weeks.
This is one of my favorite pairs right here. Look at that. They're so much better than Pit Vipers. First of all, they're not as obnoxious as Pit Vipers. They're like more subtle than the Pit Vipers, but still show that you party.
I've had people be like, dude, are those Pit Vipers? I'm like,
no.
You just don't even know.
They're so much more affordable than Pit Vipers, and they're made the exact same. Like, it's the same quality as Pit Vipers.
And you get 10% off with discount code Chairgatin.
And you get 10% off.
That's a deal if I've ever seen.
Yeah. So that is yeetsofficial.com. You get 10% off with discount code Chairgatin. So it's less than $40 that you're spending on a pair of sunglasses that none of them are broke for me. Have any of them broke for you?
I have snapped a pair with my fat head at work.
Did you?
And you know what happened? I talked to them and they sent me a brand new pair with some stickers. Great customer service.
Holy shit.
I got, replacement guaranteed satisfaction. They hooked me up. Check them out, eatsofficial.com.
That's another thing. If you talk to them, you might be talking to the owner or like his wife. Like they run this business like themselves.
I think they're friends. They're just friends.
Okay, either way. Yeah, great people. They run it themselves. So yeah, if you have a problem, talk to them and they'll actually hook you up. Like Dakota just said, they're good people and you're going to get at least the same quality, if not better, as Pit Vipers for less than half the price. I mean, it's insane. It's just insane. So it's unfortunate that Pit Vipers is on a car. What the fuck paint scheme is this, dude?
I like, hey, Floyd Mayweather, it's Team Money Management. And it's like, who the fuck did y'all pay to design this shit?
So here's the deal. I'm looking at the paint scheme. And I mean, y'all can't see my phone from here, but
it's fucking awful.
You know what? The hood and going up the top, I don't hate. Then it changes color schemes randomly along the side. And the TMT logo is way too small. You can't see shit.
And it blends into the yellow. You can't tell.
Exactly. It is awful. I will say that. It
looks like it was made on NASCAR Heat 3.
Yeah. I could have made a better design than this. Like 100%, I'm confident I could have done a better design.
It's too much going on.
It's terrible. Well,
none of the colors go together.
It makes as much sense as spending over $100 on a pair of fucking stupid ass Pit Vipers.
That is true. That is correct.
That is correct. Just go topless for the rest of the episode.
Oh man, dude. I mean, as many teams are coming in, it's awesome. We're gonna go to the Clash. That post episode should be very interesting. So tune in next week. We'll see what our degenerate opinions will be. But this also, with all this craziness and 70% new fans, this, and we're for decades now, we're trying to appeal to this imaginary anime kid. Do you think NASCAR gives a flying shit about its demographic?
No, I think that couldn't be more obvious. They have proven for like 10 years now that they don't give a shit. The France family has made it very obvious.
it just seems like they've had so many opportunities, and like they've done a lot of good. They've done some. I love some of the things that the sport has done over the years
Yep,
of
they
making
have
changes
made good
to
adjustments. Yeah,
formats, and it's gone. It's taken a right lead, but it's like at some points, it's like pull up the fucking anchor. It's like, dude, what are we doing? What is going on? I can't agree with everything, and I am very easily persuaded, as most of my friends know. But it's like we're putting fucking dirt on concrete tracks, and we're making up tracks in football fields. I'm just waiting for them to put a fucking loop on a straightaway and like just fucking do a backflip. Or there's going to be a fire pit. They're going to jump over a fire pit on turn 3. I don't know, man. It seems like we're just still trying to bring that new fan in, and we're just pissing on the leg of the fans that are here. I think this fan council is the devil. I think it's a joke. When they first made it, I was like, wow, they really give a shit. And then immediately I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is fake. The Clash will be international. And this is another thing. I keep seeing
there's
everybody
another
like,
problem. Yeah, they will
hey,
try to go international. It's a
people
terrible idea.
talking about it, and they're like, dude, not only this, we could race in other countries. I don't give a shit. I don't live in other countries. I'm not going to other countries for NASCAR race. Oh, we're gonna put it.
Those colors behind Dakota don't bleed, motherfucker.
So this is NASCAR. I just don't get it, dude. I don't care. Maybe we're gonna bring NASCAR to Europe. The NFL does one game one year where they're like, we're playing football over here. Does anybody give a shit?
Nathan, I know you're trolling us now. You don't know how the Clash is against the current fans. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? They moved it to LA, put it in a football stadium, and gave us Pitbull, Ice Cube, and a random DJ. You don't know how it goes against current fans? Are you kidding me? I mean, look, here's the deal. I don't mind the new tracks. Like, I like that they're trying new things. So I don't want to sound like I'm hating on everything. I do like the idea that they're like, hey, we're willing to try new shit because we want to see some new shit.
I agree.
I just think LA wasn't the right choice. Like, at the end of the day, I think LA was the problem for me. When they announced that they were going to LA, I was like, really, more California stuff, more West Coast stuff. I don't think that was the move. I think NASCAR needs to keep focusing on the demographic they have. Fuck it. Here in South Carolina, people love NASCAR. North Carolina, Tennessee. I think, you know what? I'll give NASCAR this. I think really investing a lot into Nashville was genius. I think that was a smart move.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that they're doing it, and I hope they continue to do it. It sounds like we might have 2 different tracks in Nashville soon. That's great.
Here's a wild ass idea that they keep fantasizing and teasing us with. We only spent $1 million and made this fake track in the LA Coliseum that doesn't play football anymore or whatever. Imagine if you took that money and took it to North Wilkesboro and had the cars race on it. What do you think would have got the same? What do you think it would have got different payout? You think it would have got different amount of fans or new fans? Me and you would be fighting at teeth to try to get that ticket.
Oh my God. I would be fighting tooth and nail to get a ticket, or Rockingham even. Like any of those tracks.
Hey, we paved it real quick. We threw up some stands. Show the fuck up. I would have gladly shown up to that thing. I'm not going to LA. Sorry.
No, I'm not. They're going to LA, which doesn't already. I mean, NASCAR fans don't show up to the races they already have there. Unfortunately, we're not going out there. So I just think, like I said, the guy I work with that was willing to give NASCAR a chance was like, hey man, they have these vaccine passports, these mask mandates. Yeah. I'm not going.
Hey, make sure you bring your voter registration.
You want to piss NASCAR fans off more than anything? Tell them they have to show you a vaccine passport to get into a race. Holy shit.
That's the day we quit going. Bring up Nathan's last comment.
All right, I'll bring it up.
So here's Nathan's open mind. Nathan's right on the fence with the anime kids and the good guys. And
Nathan's an anime kid, in my opinion. I mean, I've just given up. I don't know if he's just trying to say stupid things, but
you got an RV to stay all week. Well, people do. We don't, but people do. There are people that have RVs.
But those people aren't going to LA because they have vaccine mandates.
Here's the thing.
They're not going to go. I'm telling you, they're not showing up.
There are people that go to Clash. when it was called the Budweiser Shootout, go watch a junior win when he won the Budweiser Shootout. That motherfucker is sold out. The whole front stretch stands are sold the fuck out, and it is packed. Okay, there was this. Yeah, we all know ticket sales have been a thing the last decade, but it's like, you know, we're trying to get fans in the stands. I don't think creating imaginary tracks in LA is the way to do it.
Right. It's not going to work out. I think Dakota brought this whole segment was brought up by saying Dakota asking, does NASCAR care about their audience? And like I said from the beginning, the answer is no. And this clash, I think, proves that they're not interested in what the current audience wants. They're looking for this new audience, and I don't think that could be any more apparent with the clash and how they formatted it this year.
It's the same thing I opened with. Just do they give a shit? I don't know, man. This imaginary fan. They're freaking shooting for it. They're pissing on our legs. It just baffles me how, like, hey man, you got like a good woman at home, good family. You should probably take care of them.
Yeah.
No, dude, I love strippers.
Yeah, I love going to LA and fucking strippers. It was like, dude, you live in Charlotte. Why don't you just go home, man? Like, you got a loving family back at home. They all want to see you. And he's like, nope, I want whores in LA. That's NASCAR.
Whores in LA. It's the most NASCAR thing I've ever seen.
That's NASCAR. That's what we're living with right now.
Dude, I mean, to the north. Let's see what happens. Godspeed to NASCAR.
I mean, hell, forget the West Coast. If you want to expand, go to the Midwest. I've been saying this forever. Iowa's looking at you.
Okay, we have that's a whole nother thing.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ohio.
There's a badass track in Iowa, and yet we're sitting here talking about like just going to random ass made up tracks.
Ask Tony Stewart how much the Midwest likes racing. That motherfucker has made a whole second fortune for himself in the Midwest for dirt racing. Those people love racing. They want more racing. Go to the Midwest if that's where you want to expand outside the Southeast. Great. Go to the Midwest. What are you doing in the West Coast? They don't want that shit. They want F1 out there.
They want TikTok. Like
they want Lewis Hamilton on TikTok. That's the best that you can get. Go up to the Midwest. Those people love racing, and they'll be great fans. NASCAR, I've said this from day one, needs to focus on the Southeast and the Midwest. That's their region. Stick to it and just grind it out. And then if you start to blow up, people will look inward on what you're doing. You don't need to expand outward.
Are you just, neck and neck?
Love Iowa Speedway.
Are
Absolutely.
you more excited for this clash at this Coliseum than you were for the Bristol Dirt Race?
That's tough. They both really piqued my interest because this is a next gen car. I think that's like the main thing that is piquing my interest more than anything else is seeing the new car for the first time. So I'd say the Clash just for the next gen car. I was more interested in seeing the Cup car on dirt than I was seeing them race around a football field. So it's just
valid points.
Yeah, if it was like, oh, this is the first time you can see the next gen Cup car, and it's going to be on dirt in Bristol, I would say that. But the next gen car, I think, puts it over the top for me.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I did get surprised and baffled with the Bristol Dirt Race. However, I was like severely offended by the Bristol Dirt Race. I thought it was like blasphemy.
To put dirt on Bristol?
Yeah, so
that's the problem. They shouldn't have done that.
That was the biggest stick I had.
They shouldn't have done that. That made no sense. I wanted to see the Cup cars on dirt. I think that sounds crazy. Cool.
Yeah, but not at Bristol.
Not at Bristol. Go to Eldora or like or fucking Tulsa.
Put dirt on a football field. That'd probably been cheaper. Oh my god. So it's like that's the thing. Hey, we paved a football field. That I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. It does look crazy. All right. And then here's one thing I've thought in the back of my head. is they've been hyping this motherfucker up, and it's gonna be crazy. Nothing you ever seen. And watch them fucking grandstands look like an Atlanta summer race, and there's like 30,000 people there, and it's like
So
they were expecting 150.
here's how you'll know is if they don't show the stands and they're only zoomed in on the track going around. That's
Yeah.
when you know there's no one fucking there. If they zoom out and show you a filled up stadium, that's filled up. Trust me, if people showed up for this thing, they will show it on television.
Yeah.
You'll know real quick when they're only zoomed in on the track. I agree. I don't think many people are showing up for this. I think the main thing is the vaccine stuff. I think there's a lot of people that didn't get the vaccines, don't have passports.
Maybe, but it is fucking LA where I think everybody in there, if you still live in LA at this point,
LA,
you're probably with it.
In LA, but to my point, the person I was talking to from work, they live in California, but not LA. And they don't have any of that stuff because they were saying it's not a California thing. It's like by county. So if you, depending on the county, so they don't have that stuff. They're also saying it, you have to wear a mask the entire time, even though it's outside.
Oh my God.
And they were like, well, I just don't want to take my kids to that. That sounds terrible.
That's so embarrassing.
That's the thing. I don't think a lot of people are going to show up because of these things.
I mean, I wouldn't.
But they'll blame those things. That's the thing. They'll end up retroactively blaming those things and saying that's why it's a failure.
It didn't work because we're still suffering from COVID. Like, no, COVID is irrelevant. COVID is not. It's just cold. Let's be serious. But I just forecast for Sunday. Yeah, I mean it's California. I don't think.
Well, it's LA. Rains. The weather's always perfect. I mean, that is
rain.
The one benefit of going out there.
Yeah, the one benefit. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think. Let's say what if they did this? Like, hey, we're going to the Indianapolis Colts Stadium and we're doing an indoor track.
That'd be wild. That would be better.
Yeah, so
that would be so much better because it would be in Indianapolis, and I would be like, those people want to see fucking racing.
Yeah, so maybe what if like every year from here on out they change it? Like we're gonna do next year's Clash at Lambeau Field. We're gonna do next year's Clash at blah 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 blah. Like
Buffalo.
they rotate. Yeah, they rotate to tracks or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't hate that idea as much. I just think LA is like one of the worst places you can go for NASCAR. In America,
I never want to go to LA ever in my life.
That's the thing. In America, if you were like, what's the least NASCAR place you can think of? I would say LA or New York City. Those two.
I don't know. And then
even Miami is more NASCAR because it's like it's in Florida. Like any other city makes more sense.
They're trying to entertain this phantom fan
that doesn't exist.
And now, hey, you saw what you saw at this Coliseum Clash. We're going to build a short track next year in Auto Club. You come out and see something similar or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Right. That's a good point.
I don't see, like the vaccine thing. I don't see like a Jeff Gluck or Bob Pockris posting about, fans will have to do this to get in the race. Like it almost seems like that has not been talked about.
And here's the thing too. And I like both them. They're good journalists, but it's I don't know. I don't want to get into this because I don't like my politics bleeding into things, but it does at a certain point, and their politics bleeds into, especially Gluck. His politics bleeds into what he reports on, and he would never report negatively on like vaccine passports, I don't think, and mask mandates. Until he'll gloss over it where it needs to be reported. If it's like, hey, attendance is really low, and it might be because of these things that people don't want to deal with. Let's just be honest. That's what I heard today from coworkers. So,
yeah, I mean, let's just get your beers, get you some pizza rolls out the oven, and sit back and watch the fucking Busch Clash. That's about all you can fucking do. We'll see what happens.
That's what we'll be doing this weekend.
And here's another thing. The Pitbull concert stuff, every time they amp this up, you ever notice how they drop the ball in coverage? Like, we probably won't even see it.
No, we won't see it.
They always talk about
we won't see it.
And if you're there, you're probably experiencing it. But, like, TV will just drop the green, and you'll be like, what the fuck happened to that concert they talked about?
Also, how many concerts have you seen at a NASCAR race that's not, like, infield, like, from the stands?
Yeah.
So many, and they're weird, honestly. they're kind of weird. Like you'll be in the grandstands and they're down like on the track, like doing a little concert thing. You can walk down there if you want, but
And
it's
the
like
cringiest thing is there's always some middle-aged moms up front, like,
yep.
and they're
Yeah.
like, "Lady, go fucking home.
Hey,
No one's here for
you make
this
fun of them,
shit."
but those are Kevin Harvick fans. Those are your people.
And those are not my people.
They
Those
always have a
are-
fucking t-shirt that
They're
says number 4.
always there's some pink 4 shit and like the baby blue, and they are always Kevin Harvick fans. And
They are.
They couldn't even tell you where he was fucking starting.
That's
They're
fair.
just go Kevin Harvick, and it puts a sour taste in my mouth.
It's always the number 4 fans. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
man.
it is what it is. Now,
We all
you know what?
gotta have a few.
We'll be watching. We'll be watching. We bitch and complain. At the end of the day, I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a shit ton of people there, and I hope everybody gets super into NASCAR, and it's a great race, and we watch an awesome finish. The cars are perfect. I hope I'm wrong. I hope everything goes wonderfully. I don't think that's the case. I think they'll be zoomed into the track the whole time because they don't want you to see the fact that there's only 13 people there. Don't forget giveaway.
Hey,
Ignition. If you are an Xbox person,
NASCAR Ignition 21.
this is thanks to Rusty Walrus, our best bud.
Shout out,
Gave
our boy
me
Rusty.
this copy, and we do not play Xbox. So in the comments too, if you want to comment something, I'm not gonna lie. If you comment something right now that you play Xbox, there's a really good chance you win this. I do like to play favorites. I've said that since Dakota joined the show. I said I play favorites, and Dakota was like, "If you come out to Atlanta, I'll take you to the race." And I said, "Cool, you're the co-host." Yeah, we're gonna give this away probably tomorrow on Instagram and Twitter on social media. We'll post about it. It'll probably be like a retweet, share, follow, that kind of shit that we always do.
Winner announced Sunday.
So there you go.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Good shit. Good episode.
Good episode. It's a lot of ranting. This whole episode was just us
Bitching.
arguing with Nathan.
Yeah, I think you pissed him off.
I'm looking. Yeah, he did the peace sign. Like he's out.
Oh yeah, that's what he does. He does that.
Yeah, you little pussy. I can't wait to Atlanta too, so I get to see him and we'll talk about this face to face.
All right. Well, so next week, see our post-Busch Clash expectations.
Yeah, that's true. I can't wait. I'm actually really excited about the next episode when we get to.
I'm excited to watch some racing. I'm excited. I told Felicia, like, hey, Sunday, the boys are coming over and we're watching NASCAR.
Damn. Who's coming over? Anybody I know?
Nathan and Justin.
Damn.
But we're watching the race in the new man cave.
That sounds so fun. I really want to drive it. It's like 5.5 hours, and I really want to drive out there just for that.
You don't have to.
I know, but I'm bummed that I'm not there.
It'll be the man cave's first maiden voyage.
You know what? I think I'm going to be in Florence, South Carolina for a NASCAR race this weekend.
Oh, shit.
They're doing late models.
So
I think I'll drive out for that.
Saturday I might be at a dirt race.
Well, yeah, so we might be posting shit from random races. Look at Chairgatin expanding outside NASCAR.
Look at us.
Look at us. Everybody go buy Yeats.
Yeah, Yeats.
10% off. Chairgatin. Yeatsofficial.com. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Definitely check out next week's episode. It's going to be nuts.
Hey.
Peace.
All right, peace.